Go. Okay, well, thanks again, Anna, for hopping on the call with me. I greatly appreciate it. First question for you. Can
Mhm.
you take me back to the moment that led you on your digital marketing journey and your journey with the DG Mastermind?
Yes. Excuse me. So I was laid off from corporate America after 26 years, and it was devastating. Like I didn't know what had hit me. So after kind of thinking about it, kind of doing the reflection, getting through the anger, getting through the disappointment, all that kind of stuff, I was determined not to go back to that type of environment. Um, I was probably working 50, 60 hours, and then just deadlines, meetings, all that kind of stuff. So I
Mhm,
was like, okay, well, this is a sign that something needs to change. So um, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I just knew I didn't want to do that again.
mhm,
So I just kind of was looking on the internet. I didn't know what digital marketing was. I had never heard of it because I was corporate. So, we didn't do that.
mhm.
So I just was kind of looking on the internet. I was Googling, how to make money online, opportunities online. And I was doing a lot of research because when I came across digital marketing, I researched affiliate marketing, network marketing, just to understand, what I could about the industry. And then one day, I don't I don't know. I'm not a TikTok person.
Mhm.
But I think one day I was just trying to decompress and just kind of get lost. So I opened my TikTok app because I have an account, but I don't do anything with
Mhm.
it. And I was just scrolling. I was looking at, the puppies and the babies and all
Mhm.
that stuff and having some laughs and stuff. And Marianne came across my screen and she hit me like a ton of bricks.
Mhm.
Um, I was because I was skeptical about online stuff because you hear about this, you always hear the bad parts about the
Right.
scams and people taking advantage of. Um, so I watched her video, and what connected with me is she's a grandma. And at that time, let's see, I think my little one was 3. I have a granddaughter, and she was 3. And I knew I wanted more time with her. She lives 5 hours away. So, it's really got to be planned when I go and see her.
Mhm.
But when I saw Marianne and her big message was, are you going to work until the day you die? Well, that was an instant no. But then I think the trust came because she was a grandma. And I was like, okay, she's not going to be a scammer. Like, she's just too sweet. I'm a grandma, she's a grandma. And
Right.
so I didn't even like attend a webinar. I instantly just purchased from Marianne, not knowing what I was getting into. So that's where I started.
Heck yeah. No, that's awesome. And Marianne she's great, right? She's
Yes.
absolutely killing it. Yeah, it's amazing. Her story as well.
Yes.
But so aside from, maybe wanting another income stream after getting laid off and wanting that, some more time freedom, was there anything else that you were kind of craving at that point as far as maybe like impact, stability, even purpose?
Yes, definitely purpose. So I had also decided that what I was going to do next with my career was going to help people. There was going to be like some value there for me to help people, and I was going to build this life around my life.
Mhm.
So, in the corporate world, they own you pretty much. And so I was going to fit this into me. So this DGC is just, it's exactly that. And so from an impact perspective, you know, I want to help other people in corporate America who are worried that they're about to be on the list to be laid off because we still see it every day. Who maybe have been laid off and they're struggling to figure out what to do, and they know they don't want to go back to that type of role. But it's even retail. It's not just corporate America, it's retail, it's food service, it's all these other industries that are being hit too. People are working hard out there.
Mhm.
And as you get into your 40s, 50s, 60s, you don't want to have to work that hard. And so I want to make the most impact I can um, on other people and just help them, find their freedom, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, but and also, from a selfish perspective, I want to travel.
Hmm.
I love traveling. I haven't been everywhere I want to be, or I want to go. So I want to get back to traveling. And when my granddaughter turns maybe 5 or 6, I want to take her with me.
Yeah, oh, I love that. Yeah, no, that's great. And that's a good goal to have. You made a really good point as well when it comes to the corporate world. I get it. I've been there myself, right? Just trying to climb that ladder steadily, day by day, not even knowing if you're making any progress or with, the doubt that, oh, well, they can let me go at any time and they could give, a rat's ass about it, right?
Right.
Because when it comes to especially the corporate world, I definitely feel like you're more than a number than anything, right? So you're easily replaceable. Not only that, but it's like you said, it's not just the corporate world, but all sorts of industries, right, that are feeling it from retail to, fast food, all that thing, right? Because it's definitely becoming more and more of a technological age, right? So it's like the more and more that we figure that out, it's like, well, what do we need people, right, for,
Exactly.
essentially? So, and most people, I don't think are ever expected something like that to happen, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, we come from being in this system of like, oh, you got to go to school and then you got to go to college and then you got to work a job
Exactly.
for 40 plus years. And then you can enjoy somewhat of, the time that you put in, but not all of it.
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. So who would you say that you're building this for really?
Me, my family. Um, it's, yeah, I do want to leave to my son and to my granddaughter, you know, show them that there's other ways to do things. They know that, but, to really show them, I have no idea what this world is going to look like as my granddaughter grows up.
Mhm.
It's going to be crazy. When I had my son and he was in middle school, it's like the big thing was pagers, was beepers and stuff like that. So we've come a long way. So I can't even imagine what her world is going to look like, but I know it's going to be digital.
Mhm.
It's going to be AI. It's going to be all of those things. So this business is also helping me kind of stay relevant, continuing to learn, continuing to grow, which is fantastic. I love it. Um, but also to kind of keep up, try and keep up with her, with what her world is, what she's going to be experiencing when she starts school and all that kind of stuff. I have parents who are in the early 80s, and so being able to be there for them is hugely important. I have two sisters, and they're both down in Southern California. I'm in
Mhm.
Northern, so I'm closest to them. And so, if anything happens, I need to get there.
Right.
And with this business, I can go at any moment. Um, so it's that freedom. It's a freedom to be able to live my life the way I want to, and I need to live it.
Definitely.
Um, and just right now, like I have girlfriends who are retired, not working, and we go and have a 3 hour lunch in the middle of the day while everybody else is at the office. And it's just great. I mean, it's very freeing, and it's I'm just so relaxed and so myself now that it's amazing. Just the stress levels that have really come down. My health is better. Um, I can't find a negative. I
Mhm.
really can't find a negative.
Yeah, that's one thing that I definitely love about this as well, right? It's like you said, well, number one, you can do it from wherever, right? It's just as
Mhm.
long as you have your phone or your laptop, you can work from anywhere that you want, right? So it
Right,
gives you that flexibility, it gives you your time back to be able to do that. So it's like you said, if something were to come up with your grandparent or with your parents, God forbid, you'd be able to just go, right? You wouldn't have to put in a request to take time off. You wouldn't have to go through HR. You wouldn't have to go through all this jazz, right? Um,
right.
And then, I do like what you said as well as about, kind of helping to stay relevant as well, because that is the way that the world is kind of shifting to, right? As far as when it comes to that digital stuff and
Right.
AI. So it kind of helps you keep up with all of that as well, which I really
Yeah.
love. So what do you think is different about you now compared to when you had first joined the DG Mastermind?
Well, I've learned a lot about what this business is. I've learned what it can provide, and so going from not knowing anything about digital marketing, when I first joined, I couldn't even explain it like to my family what
Mhm.
I was starting to do. I would stumble through it and I would be like, and it's like this and it's like this. And my parents were like, we don't know what you're doing. Like, what have you gotten yourself into? Um, but I feel more comfortable in the space. The community is none other. I tell my family, I tell my friends and stuff that this community is the most positive community I've ever been a part of. We're not competing against each other. Everybody seems to be so giving and so willing to reach out a hand and help. Um, the way they give their time back to you and to others who are just coming up in the community and stuff is just amazing. I've never experienced something like that. So just even when I first started being on the calls, being on the trainings and stuff, and just listening, I'm a big listener.
Mhm.
So just listening to see, what people's experiences are and stuff like that. I was amazed at the positivity, the heart, um, and it all starts at the top with Michelle and Mike. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know if anybody out there has bigger hearts than they have. So I feel like I'm now comfortable, and so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm loving building, creating content. I'm loving getting the mentoring and stuff like that. The mindset mentoring that we get is, it's unmatched. And one thing that really stood out to me, Alex, is so many people in our community have tried a gazillion other things, and all of them have said, this is the place. And so I'm so grateful that I found this first as my first shot
Mhm.
rather than going through the MLMs and the affiliate marketing and all that other stuff that people have done for years and years and years. So I just really feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be in this part of my life. And Marianne was a godsend. And I'm just ecstatic about it. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you said, it's so great having this community around you as well, right?
Yeah.
Because now I think it's grown to almost like 54,000 as far as like the entire members, which is
Right.
mind-boggling to me. I still can't wrap my head around that number because it's like the size of a small country. Um,
Right.
so it's just insane what's been growing, right? But they also see, like yourself and many others, that kind of vision, what's possible for them, right?
Yeah.
Families. And that's, when you talk about community as well, it's like everyone in there has the same goal, right? Right, or
Yeah.
similar goals. And it's like any way you turn, you have like a crutch to, lean on. You can get your questions answered, right? It's like
Right.
everyone's in it together, like
Yes.
this one
Yes.
huge, like random family, which is amazing as well.
From
So
all over the world.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So is there anything that and it could be one thing or even multiple things that you're most proud of accomplishing so far?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, yes. So the one big one is that I actually had the courage to do something like this. It was scary. It was, oh my God, what if I fail? It was, what if I put all my eggs in this basket and then I end up back at corporate America?
Mhm.
And so the fact that I stepped out of corporate America completely and stepped into this really unknown. I mean, it was like a leap of faith, pretty much. Um, that's the thing I'm most proud of is that I even had the courage to do it. Because a lot of people like want to see the results before they jump into something. They need the proof before.
Hmm.
But I know me and my standards and expectations of myself are crazy and sometimes probably not healthy.
Hmm.
But it's just, it's just how I was raised and it's how I went through corporate America.
Hmm.
So I know that this is going to work for me and this is going to give me the life that I want for my remaining 30, 40 years, however much time I have left on this earth. But
Hmm.
it's going to give me the life that I want, the life that I've always wanted. And, the time is priceless. You can't get that back. And so just being able to spend more time doing what I want to do and with the people I want to do it with than spending more time at the office and on projects and stuff like that is, I couldn't ask for anything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's one thing I always tell people too. It's like, right, because people come in this and they're automatically expecting results, right? It's just like
Yeah.
right off the cuff. And sometimes some people will, right? Don't get me wrong,
Right.
we see it all the time. People will just, skyrocket right out of the gate. And some people it takes a little longer, and that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
I always like to remind people, it's like you also have to understand like these different processes that you're going through. It's like you're changing as well in the process. So it's like even if you're not seeing like the type of money or success that you want to see, it's like everything else though is being elevated, right? Like your mindset, confidence, just all of these little things while you're working towards that other goal.
Hmm.
So and that's one thing that I like to remind them, but it's also great that this can do that for them. So we talk a lot about like mindset and how important it is in not only everyday, life, but just business as well. Is there any type of like mindset that helped you guide you through this whole journey?
Oh, absolutely. And it's still, I mean, this is like an continually evolving, which is amazing. Um, but one of the things that really hit me from a mindset perspective is the amount of thoughts that a person has in a day and how the vast majority of those are negative
Hmm.
because your brain is designed to keep you safe. And so on one of our mentoring calls, that really hit me. And I was like, oh, like it just, I was like, okay, I get it. So, um, being able to look at whatever's in front of me and find the positive or switch it to a positive. To look at it differently as far as, okay, this is a obstacle, this is a challenge, but getting through that, I'm growing through that. And so looking at it from an optimistic perspective, I know sometimes it can sound cheesy because sometimes people think, how could you be so optimistic?
Hmm.
But I found myself just being really conscious of my thoughts, whether it's business related, personal related, whatever comes your way in life. So the fact that this experience is allowing me to grow personally and professionally, my mindset has not completely changed. You always have those bumps,
Right.
but it's changed drastically. And I've gotten that unsolicited feedback from friends who have known me all these years and we get together and they're like, you look so relaxed. And not that I was a negative person
Hmm.
before, but they do see a difference in just how I react to things, how I really take a beat
Hmm.
and kind of absorb it first before I react. So my reaction time is much different. It's much different. So yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's awesome, especially, when like your friends and families are like the one to notice those little changes, right? And like
Yeah.
improvement, mood and confidence and things like that. It's pretty gratifying. So let's fast forward, right? Say,
Uh-oh.
say you're making the type of money that you want to make.
Okay.
Your business is where you want it to be. What
Mhm.
does your dream life look like 12 months from now?
Okay, I'm not gonna cry. My dream life looks like I have a house on the ocean, overlooking the ocean, not too close, but overlooking the ocean. Um, I live closer to my granddaughter, and I'm an active part of her daily life, of her growing up and just enjoying the whole grandma thing. Um, it looks like me not having to budget every penny, me not having to really look at my bank account and my expenses two, three, four times a month.
Mhm,
It looks like that my life is just taken care, like my financial life is just taken care of. I'm not worried about, as I get into my 70s and 80s and 90s and stuff, what I'm going to do. Social Security isn't going to be my only thing coming in. It's going to be this. But also, my son has always thought about opening a nonprofit, like a homeless, like not like a homeless thing, a food bank.
mhm,
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then I'm going to be around the world. I would love to, I will go spend a month in Italy and just really kind of get into the culture.
mhm.
Before my trips have been 2, 3 weeks, and you're just kind of rushed. I really want to go and experience different cultures. Um, you know, I'm going to buy houses for my nieces and nephews. Make sure my son is, he still has to work for his own stuff.
Uh-huh.
It'll be easier for him and it'll be easier for my granddaughter. Um, and so it's to think that way is kind of out of reach because you're thinking like, oh my God, this could be my dream life. Um, and that's where I'm headed. That's where you'll see me in 12 months.
Absolutely. I love it. And I know it'll happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yes, absolutely. So, what do you think it would mean not only to yourself, but your family, your future, your legacy when you actually pull this off?
Um, it's going to be just exciting. It's going to be fulfilling. I think as I grow in my business, I'm going to be continually fueled to impact others, to get this message out to other people. I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people in the world that need this. Um, but it's gonna prove to myself that you're able to reinvent yourself in your 50s. And for my parents, because they just don't understand, it's going to finally put them at ease that I'm going to be okay. We're going to be okay. For my son, I hope it opens opportunities and doors for him in whatever way he wants that to happen. My daughter-in-law as well. And then for my granddaughter to just be able to truly, we say this all the time, but be able to truly do what she wants to do because, if she wants to go to college, wherever she wants to go, she's good.
Mhm.
If she doesn't want to go to college, she's good too. So to really have options, to really have choices that I didn't have when I was growing up and, even now. So it's going to just, I think it's going to blow everybody away. I really think it's going to blow everybody away. because not that everybody is skeptical about what I'm doing. It's usually they don't quite understand it,
Hmm.
um, or they're cheering me on. They're like, they know I can do it. And so they're just waiting to celebrate with me, whenever that big moment is. And it's just going to be, yeah, I'm going to have to sit and really reflect and
Yeah.
just take it in, be grateful and pay it forward.
I love that. No, I love that. Such a good answer. And it's like you said, I think at the end of the day, what everyone kind of strives for in life is just peace of mind, right?
Yes.
It's
Yep.
like, right, and having be able to have those options, not having to have to look at your bank account, right? Not have to worry about the bills, what's coming in, what's going out. So I think peace of mind is
Exactly.
really the end game. That's what people strive for, right? So what do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself through this entire journey?
Ooh. Um, my biggest thing that I've learned about myself, that's a tough one. Um, because I've always done hard things.
Hmm.
So, hard it doesn't affect me negatively. It kind of like give me the challenge. I'm up for the challenge. Um, I think what I've learned about myself is my potential is truly infinite. Um, I can I can have my own business and I can, call the shots. I don't have to work for somebody else. Um, but also that I just I've also learned that I can dream again. I can, like I can get there. In corporate America, you know, I kind of stopped dreaming because you just once you retire, you're on a fixed income
Hmm.
and your life is limited. Really, it's limited. So, um, really just knowing that my life is limitless and the sky's the limit, really.
Definitely. Absolutely. So, what advice would you give to someone who is maybe in your position,
Mhm.
um, someone who's maybe on the fence or even scared to start with something like this?
I was scared too. I was scared and I was skeptical. So my advice to them would be um, is to trust themselves, believe in themselves. And if you're willing to, because it's work. I mean, it's not easy street,
Hmm.
it is work. If you're willing to put in the work and really willing to learn the skills that you need to create this type of life, the type of life you want, whatever that is for everybody. Um, to give it a shot. Like, what do they have to lose? And not have any regrets. You know, it's not for everybody,
Hmm.
but it could be for them. And they won't know until they take that first step.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's great advice. Right. And I think, and oh, it's true, right, to a lot of things. I think if you just get out of here, right, out of your own head, and it's like you
Yes,
said, what do I have to lose? If anything, if it doesn't work out, I'm just right back where I started. Right.
exactly.
So it's just taking those little steps, right? Being consistent, watching just right, and then seeing kind of that exponential growth come from that. So, last question for you, Anna. What do you now know is possible?
You got some good questions, Alex.
Thanks.
Um, I now know it's possible to build the life that I want to have, to I know it's possible to own a home in California. I will own a home in California, at least one to start with. Um, and so really anything is possible. Like if you really kind of, if I really kind of just think about it, like if I think, oh, I want to, travel 6 months out of the year, it's possible. If I want to purchase properties as an investment, it's possible.
Mhm.
Like whatever I can dream up or whatever, my family, um, what their aspirations are and stuff, I'll be able to help them. And I'm dying to do that. It's gonna, helping them get to where they want to be is actually gonna make me happier than me getting to where I want to be. Because I just love, I'm getting the chills right now. So, I just love, you know, I'm a big cheerleader for people. I love to empower people and I love to help them get to where they want to be. And it's possible.
Definitely. No, I love that. Such a good answer. Well, that is all the questions I had for you, Anna. You did great, right? You're gonna be just fine, right? And I'm excited to see your journey. I'm excited to see where it leads. And then, hopefully we can hop back on one of these once you're where you want to be and you can just let us all know how you got there.
Definitely, definitely.
So thanks again, Anna. Like I said, you're doing great. You're going to be great. And I appreciate you hopping on the call with me.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.